MLS listing subscribers, thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave Scalori, your host today for what is our 25th, if you can believe it, MLS Listings Live. So we got a great show planned today. Our guest is Greg Robertson, General Manager. Hey, Greg, General Manager of MLS with Lone Wolf Technologies. And he's here today to talk about his Cloud Agent suite there of products, Cloud MLX specifically, and Cloud Streams. Greg, great to have you on. How you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me again here, Dave. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure. No, anytime. We had you on. A lot of our, subscribers might recognize you from earlier in the year. I think around the February, March timeframe for our vendor spotlight. And we said, we got to get Greg back on. There's just too much there to talk about. So thanks for coming back on. Greg, first thing I'd say, in terms of Lone Wolf, for those who haven't seen or maybe aren't too familiar with Lone Wolf Technologies, you guys really are a conglomeration of companies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lone Wolf is, first of all, Lone Wolf as a traditional company has been around since 1989. They started in and still are really dominant in the back office. So accounting systems for the accounting and back office system for brokerages. The stat I read somewhere is that, over 40% of agent commission checks are processed through a Lone Wolf back office system in the country or North America. So they started off as that, and they've been acquiring. I know a lot of California subscribers use ZipForm. That's part of Lone Wolf. I know a lot of California subscribers use Cloud CMA or the Cloud Agent Suite, and that's part of them. That's where I come from. My company, W&R Studios, was acquired by them back in December of 2020.
Right, very popular. Yeah,
and we also have Instanet Solutions. That's Transaction Desk, which is another transaction management tool. Broker Metrics by Terradatum, which some of your listeners might or viewers might have heard of. Property Base, Lion Desk CRM, which is now a member benefit from CAR. And HomeSpotter, which makes the HomeSpotter Connect product, the mobile application. So yeah, there's a lot, there's a lot under the hood there as far as the different companies that are part of Lone Wolf Technologies now.
Nice. It really is technologies. They're plural there. Nice. Yeah, I think you guys, we did a Shifting Sands, I remember. And, last year we did a couple about talking about all these acquisitions. And I think it was like 4, you guys, I think 4 or 5 last year alone.
Yes.
So yeah. So
they acquired, I think it was 5 companies in 9 months, if you can imagine that.
I can believe it. So Greg, before we head in and kind of talk about those products, Cloud MLX, Cloud Streams, just real quick, because I think the hardest, the biggest jumping off point is for an agent is how do I really get started here, right? So I guess for those agents there, what would be the very first thing they need to do or should do to start using these products?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody that logs in the MLS goes to the main kind of a dashboard screen, and right. That has a list of products on it and you can see there, you'll see Cloud, and I'll be showing you the logos a little bit later, but Cloud MLX and Cloud Streams. So just as you're normally logging in the MLS and choosing that kind of matrix button or which you have a call there, you can click in and single sign on into the Cloud MLX product and the Cloud Streams product.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely always a good first step. As you said, we're going to show them in a second and take a look at these Cloud MLX products. Cloud MLX, Cloud Streams, really easy to use. So our agents out there, I think once you get in there and set up your account and have it ready, a different aesthetic, definitely compared to what we're used to, which is MLS Listings, industrial, very, no thrills.
Right.
So if you're ready, I'll let you go ahead kind of and start showing off some of the things for. Do you want to start with Cloud MLX there first?
I think I was going to do MLX first, but I think I'm going to try Streams first. So
sounds good.
All right, let me see if I can.
While you're doing that, getting that ready for everybody, if you have questions for Greg or me, go ahead and put those in the chat. And toward the end there, we'll go ahead and answer as many as possible there. So make sure you put those in the chat as Greg sets up here. And Greg, author, you're an author, Robert, you're an author as well, right?
Yeah. During the pandemic, I wrote a book called The Art of the CMA. Everybody kind of, they're very curious of like, how can I write a whole book about just CMA? Having done Cloud CMA and before that, working at eNeighborhoods, and then before that, working at Iris. I co-founded Iris as well with Lightning CMA Plus. Been in the CMA industry for quite a while, and I've just been able to gather so much stories and just use cases for CMAs that agents have used, that I just compiled all those ideas in a book, and it's called The Art of CMA. If you go to theartofcma.com, you can kind of go there and order. And then I tell everybody, if they order from the site, I'll personalize it,
All right.
sign it, and send it to you guys. So
I am still waiting for my personalized autographed copy. No,
it's coming, Dave. It's coming.
All right. All righty. So I'll go ahead if you're all ready here.
Yeah.
Looks like I see the lone wolf, so it looks like we're ready to go.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate MLS Listings for inviting me here. You guys have got a great organization there. Mr. Wenzel and the rest of the team have done a great job and providing you these tools as a member benefit. So super exciting to be able to talk about this. As Dave mentioned, I am the general manager of MLS for Lone Wolf Technology. So I focus on all that is MLS in the Lone Wolf world, and that means a lot. MLS data is the lifeblood of a lot of our products, so we value and cherish and want to grow and expand our partnerships with MLSs. And of course, MLS Listings is world famous as far as MLS is out there. So
we appreciate that.
we're very excited to be working with you guys, and have been working with you guys for quite a while. And as we talked about, right? So I just put together this little chart here to kind of highlight the different companies that are part of, it goes back here for, as I said, Lone Wolf was founded in 1989. And, they are basically, they drive the back offices of a lot of brokerages out there in regard to their accounting, software services, right? So, and as I said, like over 40% of commission checks cut to agents are through a Lone Wolf back office system. So pretty proud of that. In 2017, they bought Incident Solutions, was a transaction manager, and then of course ZipLogic a couple years later, which most people in California are familiar with because of ZipForm. And then they acquired us in December of 2020, and then basically went on a run here. HomeSpotter and LineDesk in May of 2021, and Property Base and Terradatum in 2021 in the August timeframe. And that's Terradatum, also their product Broker Metrics, is what a lot of brokers use for their recruiting software. So lots of great products that I think Lone Wolf is under the Lone Wolf umbrella. But what I want to talk about today is, specifically two products as part of the Cloud Agent Suite. The way that we at WNR and now at Lone Wolf looked at the MLS world is we kind of look at it as like a three-legged stool, right? So, and there's three core things that the MLS does, right? As far as a feature set. And you could argue there's a fourth leg of listing input. It's something that maybe I could add. Maybe it's a table, not a stool. Who knows, right? But, in the case of what we're looking at, is it's a three-legged stool. The first thing that MLS an MLS system does is reports, right? So it's the output that you can print those MLS printouts. You can just look at the reports on the screen. It's just giving you the results of that search that you've done, right? And then the second part is what auto prospecting. On Matrix, it can be called the client portal, but that's the basically listing alerts, right? So how you kind of alert your buyers when something hits the MLS that meets their criteria, right? So reports and auto prospecting. And the last thing is search, right? So obviously you want to have a great search system, a way of searching an MLS for different things. And I know with Matrix, there's just a ton of ways you can kind of search properties, search for listings on the MLS system, right? So in our parlance, as far as for the Cloud Agent Suite, reports is handled by Cloud CMA. Auto prospecting is handled by Cloud Streams, and then search is handled by Cloud MLX, right? So what I'm going to show you today is talk about Cloud Streams and Cloud MLX, right? So two great products. Again, it's wonderful that they are offered as a free member benefit.
Right, I can point that out. Free member benefit. Always great to point that out.
So let's talk about Cloud Streams first, right? So super excited about this product. And I think you guys will enjoy and see what the benefit here is. So first of all, why Cloud Streams? I always like to start with the why, right? And the first thing is you want to look more professional than standard MLS or portal email alerts, right? And that's important, right? We'll talk about that a little bit later. And we want to also mention that these listing alerts, the email ones, are branded to you, not the MLS, not Matrix, or not a portal. Like if you go to like Zillow, it's just Zillow all written all over it. And the listing alerts are delivered faster than portals. So how many times do you hate it when your buyer shows you an alert from Redfin or something, right? So you want to make sure what you're showing them is the freshest and the most up to date, so they're the first to know when new listings hit the market. And it's got a very easy client collaboration function to it, which I'll kind of demonstrate. And here's a big win for everybody: the ability to text listing alerts. Right. So that's huge. So not only does it send out an email alert, but if you set it up correctly, your clients will get a text alert. Now, what's great about that? I mean, you don't want somebody's dream house sitting in their inbox, right? I mean, I hate email a lot of times, right? So a lot of people only might check their email once a day or throughout the day or something. But when we get a listing, when we get an alert on their phone or a text alert, what do we do?
Yeah,
we pick it up and read it, right? I mean, it's like we're Pavlov's dog or something.
Yeah, mesmerized. Got to know. No, you're exactly right. Everybody's got a phone. Everyone's on their phones, especially how busy and fast our markets are out there. So, and I don't know too many that do listing alerts. I gotta tell you, Greg. So that's a huge feature.
I think that text them, not nobody does, right? So this is a really big advantage you're going to have over your competition, especially like the portals and everything else.
Right.
And it's interesting now, just talking a little bit about listing alerts. I've been around so long. I've been in the industry since 92 that I remember when the auto prospecting functions first got onto the market and into MLS systems. There's a big debate like, oh, well, we'll just make them daily. So once a day you get an alert, or once a week, because people don't want to be bothered too much by that. And it's changed so much. You've got an always on, society now. Kids and millennials, they're always on their phone. So, all of our listing alerts, you can make them daily, you can make them weekly, but the first option is, real time. And that's what people want to know, especially in some of the markets right now where inventory is low. Just talking to your buyers and say, listen, unlike everybody else, I'm going to text you. Right, you'll be the first to know. So that text alert really is a big feature for everybody.
Our days on market, and a lot of our markets are 8 or 9 days. So ASAP is the name of the game.
For sure, yeah. So and the other thing is that you want to know that these alerts are going to be delivered faster than anybody, right? And of course, there's nothing going to be faster than the listing alert from the MLS. I mean, that's the source, right? But as far as like everybody else, the portals, including cloud streams, what we're really, really proud of is the way we architected it, the way we work with the MLS and being so tied and integrated to it, is that we're usually, if not always, the first listing alert they get beyond the MLS one, right? So, this is just a snapshot I did in my phone last month of like just showing, at the bottom, that's that's Salmon Lane. We were the first one before all the other portals showed up there, right? So that's a good thing to know. And again, if people get a text alert, well, if they haven't checked their email in a day, they're going to check it right there. So even if we're a little behind, the text alert is going to make us number one anyway. So very important for you guys to know that. So let's talk about like what's out there. What's your competition? Because right now, for an agent in this business, their competition is not just other agents, but it's the internet itself, right? So if I look at listing alerts around the things, and this is updated pretty recently, you've got Redfin, right? And let's take a look at their listing alert, top left, right? Big photo, obviously branded to Redfin, right? Then you look at the one on the top middle, that's Zillow. Again, another big photo, branded completely to Zillow. Same thing with Trulia, a little bit of different color scheme. The one on the bottom left, homes.com, is just homes.com. And I think if you even scroll that down, there's even ads there, which are like yuck, right? Mm-hmm. And then realtor.com, you can see the realtor.com logo up there, and you can see also there's ads below that too. And then if you look all the way to the far right, this is what a listing alert comes from, one of the largest MLS systems in the country, right? And if I look at that, it's kind of ho-hum compared to the rest of these listing alerts. I think the other ones are much better designed, a much bigger photo. So you can see why some of your clients are opting into these portals to get their listing alerts, because honestly, they're designed better. They look better, right? I mean, I just don't think, the MLS really, focuses on that. And that's the thing with us in CloudStreams and all our products. We want to take what MLS systems do and take it to the next level, right? So how do we improve on that, right? So, for instance, here's a listing alert from Zillow, and here's a listing alert from one of the largest MLSs in the country, right? Again, I just the one on the right, who's it from? I know the one on the left is Zillow,
right?
But it's just not.
Doesn't catch your attention much. And the one on the right, yeah, small photo,
right?
Yeah, design wise.
The nice thing about it, it's information directly from the MLS.
Sure.
It showed up really, really quickly, right? So there's some advantages there, right? But let's take a look at what CloudStreams does. So this is what your MLS is delivering now. Boom, baby. This is what an MLS alert looks like on CloudStreams. First of all, big thing, it's branded to you.
Yeah.
Right? Your photo's there, your name is there, right? Big photo, right? Big buttons. I can view details, or I can like it without even having to go in the app. So this is another huge thing. The other thing is that these listing alerts are responsive. So if you're looking at an iPad that has a bigger viewing thing, the picture will grow with whatever device you're on. That's unlike any other ones out there, right? So really, we think just a phenomenal way of differentiating yourself from the MLS. Now, again, Matrix and all the other MLSs out there, they're good systems. They provide a valuable service. We're not out here to replace them. This is just a supplemental way of you differentiate yourself from what everybody else is using, right? So when I talk to agents and they say, "Oh, my MLS has a client portal with listing alerts, I don't need this," I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, if your goal is to look like everybody else, then absolutely you don't need this." Right. But if your goal is to stand out, well, maybe you should take a look.
I love the branding. Yeah. Especially, it's showing your client, I'm giving you that data, right? I'm the source of that data, really. And I think that's huge. So,
and it's exactly the same MLS data that you're
right. They would have got anywhere. Exactly. Yeah. So that's nice.
So really, really cool. And, again, if I click on a Zillow alert or a Redfin alert, it's sending me up to God knows what other agent is paid for.
Right.
To be surrounded that listing. When you have the client relationship, all it's going to do is show up your branding and your contact information, right? And as we talked about, your MLS just learned to text, right? I mean, clients will always be the first to know when a new listing hits the market. Totally, very, very important in a market like this where the supply is low and we have everything else. But that's, to me, the value proposition and all the kind of main features of CloudStreams. Any questions that anybody might have here from the audience, or Dave, maybe you got a couple questions?
Gotcha. Let's see here. I think we'll take them in the end. So everybody go ahead, and put in your questions in that chat, and we'll go ahead once we're done and go through them all then.
Okay, great. Perfect. So
I'm sure we'll have a few.
Right. So the next thing I want to talk about is what we call Cloud MLX, right? Cloud MLX is a great tool. And again, of the three legs of that stool, we had auto prospecting, which are listing alerts, was handled by CloudStreams. But we wanted to look at search, right? We wanted to how do we kind of change the way search is done on an MLS system, right? So again, back to the why. We wanted to give agents and brokers a choice of how they view MLS data. Does it always have to be Matrix? Does it always have to be X, right? Can there be another way of doing it, right? We wanted to simplify MLS search, right? We also wanted to integrate Cloud CMA and CloudStreams into the MLS, the way you search data, right? So that integration was key, and also work from anywhere. So that you're, this app that you're using, this software program MLX, can be used on a laptop. It can be used on an iPad or on an iPhone, right? So we wanted to give the choice of work from anywhere, work on any device, right? And again, I'm not here to kind of criticize or bash the way things are done now. We're just looking at ways to kind of innovate, right? So when I go to a typical MLS system, and this is what they call the basic search screen, right? I think I counted 184 fields to click on here under the basic search, right? Or
Right.
And that's not, I don't think I counted all the drop down menus and all the, you've just got like these little click boxes, these check boxes, these drop down menus. I mean, it is just,
Yeah, a lot of places to put a wrench to throw it all off, right? one field that
right. It's just, we looked at it and like, well, how are we going to innovate on this? I mean, this is, and again, I'm not picking on one particular MLS system. This is how they are all over. All the MLS systems have this kind of one thing. And this is the basic search. You should see the advanced search. It's even more fields to search on, right? Curiously enough, there was an MLS operator out of Hawaii, right? And they were looking to either make a decision on whether we're going to build our own MLS system or go to a vendor and buy one, right? It was a build or buy situation, right? So what they wanted to understand is they did a lot of research before that. And they looked at the behavior, the way that agents use the MLS system and what they searched upon and how, what days and time. I mean, all this kind of information. And I was reading about this, and I think I saw one of the gals speak about this at a conference. And this quote just really, it totally jumped out at me, right? And here's out of their research, here's what they found. This is kind of incredible, but really, like anything else, it's common sense once you think about it a little bit. 95% of searches done on an MLS system use the same 12 fields.
I believe it.
I mean,
as a trainer, I believe it. Yeah, it's upsetting to me because, but I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's important sometimes to find out, to have a field that's like, what is the well depth of the, of the water pump in the backyard of these rural properties, or what is, if you have, like, let's say some sort of a waterfront, like how deep is the dock? The dock could go down on the lake there or something, right? I mean, we all know that there's a lot of, if the agent took the time to actually fill in those fields, that there's, I think, I don't know, Dave, do you know how many search fields are available in MLS listings? I've heard 700, 900.
The number always changes. We're always either adding something but no, you're right. There's literally, we have what's called additional fields. And that's where you can really kind of, does it have this or that, a horse property or whatever you're looking for, right? And it's in the 800s probably.
Totally, right.
Yeah, totally. No question.
So it's to me, it's like, okay, well, this to me was like, for us and our developers and our designers, kind of a light bulb moment. Like, well, that's crazy. I mean, if really 95% of the time, and the way, I'll tell you how I look at this. It's like, I relate it to email, right? So for instance, I'm on a Mac and the Mac has a really basic email, program. It's called Apple Mail, right? And you can send and receive emails, right? And I can actually layer that on top of Gmail, right? So, I use Apple Mail, but it's tied to my Gmail account, right? So I tell you, 95% of the time, Apple Mail works great for me. I'm just, getting email and responding to email. But sometimes, there's this one email I need to find that I know I sent to somebody, and I know I used the word, some weird word, but I know that was in the email. What I do is I go into Gmail, and Gmail's got all this crazy searching and Boolean, if, ands, or things that I do. And I go and find that email, and then that's good. But I mean, then I'm right back on to Apple Mail, right? So I get the fact that a lot of people are going to need Matrix 5% of the time for maybe some exotic searches. But what if we could build a system, a way of searching that could really make it easy for 95% of the searches that real estate agents are doing, right? So we thought about it from that standpoint, right? I mean, we don't want to replace Matrix. We don't want to replace any of the MLS systems out there. We would just want to give a simple alternative, right? So when we began thinking about it, like, well, search, haven't we figured out how to do search, right? Already on the internet? What is it? So the question we asked ourselves is like, what if you could search your MLS like Google, right? I mean, Google, how many fields, how many buttons, how many little check marks does Google have? Zero.
It's just the one field.
One bar, right? One bar. So that was a challenge we gave our developers and our designers. Can we make an MLS system? Can we make a way of searching MLS data just like Google with one search bar, right? So that's what they did, right? So this is just a picture of the front end, and I'm going to go into this a little bit later, of Cloud MLX. And this is it. I mean, this is just one search bar. If you compare this to what I showed you at the beginning, it's kind of crazy, right? So it's really just, one search bar. And the great thing about, having one search bar, who trained, did you take did you take
Google class? No.
a Google class? Nobody took a Google class, right? So um, that's the thing, is like, and that's what we want to do with all our products. We want to make them simple enough so the way you learn about them is you just start using them, right? So that's the great thing about Cloud MLX, as far as, just one search bar. You search the MLS like Google. I think I can.
Yeah, you're getting all the same data, but a one line search, which is
right. And it autofills for you, right? You can put in, just type as you think, right? So I can just put these things in and bring up these listings into my Cloud MLX, right?
This is something where, if I was, maybe sitting with a client, I could actually, I would never pull out of the matrix search in front of them, but,
right,
but this is something they, it's just like Google, something they're familiar with, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, I mean, get on a matrix is like in some MLS system. And again, not criticizing. I realize when you add that much complexity, it's going to look like that, right?
Right.
We're taking away complexity here, right? So that's what we're trying to do with Cloud MLX, right? So
no, definitely.
The other thing is that without even having to download, well, let me see if I can get to the next slide here. Without it, you don't have to download. This is a completely responsive app, right? So this works on an iPhone, works great on a tablet, it works great on your laptop, right? So that's the same thing with streams. Nothing to download. It's a progressive web app, so really looks great on any device that you have, your Android or whatever. And it's just, you can take the entire MLS with you in your pocket, right? So very, very, very functional that way. So people are going to love, I think, how I'm just, I'm just curious. I want people to start using MLX and see if they can integrate in their workflow. And again, we're not trying to replace Matrix. You're going to need Matrix when you have those exotic searches, but can we 95% of the time give you a simpler solution?
And that's the thing, Greg, that's what we want to do as MLS, is give them, our agents, as many options, because what might work for you 80% of the time, great, but then there's maybe that need, that solution that's not working for you, that other 20, whatever the ratio. But it's always great to have, it's a great backup. If Matrix goes down, you need a backup, totally. Right? Number one. And B, you could, once you start using it, I got to say, I've been in there, I've used it, toyed around, and it's very powerful, but it's very simple. And that's the key here. I mean, you don't need a lot of training to go in there and just start messing around and figure it out in 2 seconds. So even if you don't have to be a techie, I guess what I'm saying, the way you guys built this. So kudos on that.
All right. Well, let's see if we can kind of go into a demo here. Okay. So first thing is, I'm just logging into my Cloud Streams, and again, this looks fantastic on your mobile device. So imagine you're going to log into your Cloud Streams, and you're going to see your activity, right? So I've got 116 alerts, 32 have been viewed. I've got 5 likes and 4 comments. So this just gives me a great view of the activity in the past 90 days. So if I'm curious about which clients of mine like properties, I can just go here and I can take a look at those listings that person liked. Right, just right inside the screen here. If there's some comments, I can just click on this box and I can see the comments that my client has put in here, like, I wish it had a pool, right, or something, whatever.
Right.
And then if I just look at all the listing alerts that went out, you can see, like, Bruce Wallace received an email alert, 2 properties that matches his stream or his listing alert 14 hours ago. And I can just view that alert as they would have seen it on their phone, right? So pretty nice to have one place where I can see the activity of all my clients in a very clear, beautiful way of looking at it. And again, all these things are also tappable. So if I have my phone, I'm just going to tap on the screen. Works great. So, any device here, right? I can also look at my clients. These are the clients that I have. And, the latest activity was 1 day ago. Here's the latest activity was 10 days ago. So here I can take a look at my client and what they've done. I can see, what streams they have, right? What saved searches they have, what properties they've liked, recommended we'll go into later. And then, the activity of what she's got going on, right? Makes total sense there.
Nice.
And then streams, right? So these are the streams that I have set up. Right now I have one set up here for Jen. And you can say, if I want to take a look at that stream, have a nice view of that stream, and here's the properties, and here they are on the map, right? So it gives you just a really intuitive view, big photos, big screen here to kind of show you what Jennifer's looking at and what houses she likes, right? So pretty easy to do that. All right, but I know a lot of people are asking, well, how do I create a stream? How do I do that? Now, first things first, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, to get to cloud streams, go to the main dashboard that you normally get where you get into on your MLS matrix system. You'll see a cloud streams icon. Just click on a cloud streams icon. It'll walk you through a setup process to put your photo and all your contact information,
your branding, right?
Your branding, everything else, right? So once I'm due there, I can just come here to the streams tab and I'll click on create a stream, right? And I'm gonna I'll just give it a name, what city or area or zip code I'm looking at. I'm gonna say I'm looking in 9246. We're in Orange County, Southern California here. So I would say don't have a heart attack over the prices, but then I know you guys are close to Los Gatos, so you're probably all these prices anyway, right? So here now I have just a basic area, right? Now I can now narrow down. My client says that they are looking for, a house between $1 million and 1.2 million, right? So I can apply that search, that filter, and that's going to reduce the number of houses. And they want 3 beds, right? And I'll apply that. So this is, again, narrowing it down, right? So, and 2 baths, right? All right, so now this is the search. These are the listings that are available right now for my clients. Look at this. A lot of price reductions going on. Is that happening up in your market, Dave, also?
Well, it's an interesting market. You have to ask Michelle Ronco that, and that's one of the things we look at, obviously, to see, that's the water cooler talk now. Is it slowing down or is it seasonality? But interesting.
Interesting. So we've got square footage. Then we have more filters here. So there's other things to kind of set up here, right? And if you don't see one of the fields that you use all the time, just let us know, and it's pretty easy for us to kind of add something, right? We just had it start at a starting point here, right? Okay, so once I have the actual kind of, the search that I want, that, my client is looking for, then I'm going to set up alerts, right? So I'm setting up, and it's going to give me a modal here. So it's going to give me like a name to, for this. It's just going to give me like a default name. I'm going to say, this is for Trisha, right? So now I have this save stream for Trisha. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. There's automatic, I should say. So what happens is once you set it up, it just, it goes to the client. The other one is curated. Now this is where the listing alert first comes to you. You either approve or don't approve of it going to your client.
Gotcha. So if you really want that hands-on, only send them exactly what they're going to want.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I told you not to send me things with black.
Right. I didn't like that architecture.
Yeah, whatever, right? So if you have those clients, you can do it that way. I'm just going to set this up as automatic, right? So then I have invite my client. So I'm going to type my client's name in here, and I'm just going to put my name in here just for Smith, I guess I'll call myself. And then an email address. Right. And then I set the alerts to real time, daily, weekly, or monthly. Right. Now I can also add other clients. Maybe Greg's got a father that's helping him out. So they can all be on the same thing. And I'll show you why that's important. I can also, on the first stream, send a message. Hey, we talked about this. I'm going to make sure you get the quickest listing alerts, you can ever have. Right. And then as far as for me, I can set myself up to get these alerts myself as a daily email or weekly email or real-time email, whatever I want. For the clients, I can also set them up for never, meaning they can still go to the site. They're just not going to get alerts, right? So
Okay.
once I'm done there, I send an invite. Now, this is a little bit different than a lot of people, a lot of guys out there, a lot of listing alert solutions out there. We believe very much in permission-based marketing, right? So what we mean by that is that we're not going to send anything until they approve it. This gets our deliverability rate on emails in the high 90s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of systems will just start, I don't want to say the word spam, but I think when you start sending things without getting permission first, your deliverability rate goes way down, right? We're going to do the correct way. So this list you're going to have of your clients is always going to be, the best, right? So now you can tell here that this is invitation is pending, because what it's going to do, it's going to send your client, right, a listing alert, an invitation to get these listing alerts, right? And once they do that, then you're going to see that they've accepted it and they'll start getting the alerts.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Gotcha. So yeah, so they get an email, they just got to go ahead and pretty much activate it by clicking on it, right?
Right. Correct. Right. So I don't know if I even have that set up here, but we'll take a look. Yeah. So this is what that invitation email is going to look like, right? Hello, Greg. Now this is Greg, right? Because I'm not very creative here. I set up a stream of homes for you. You'll know directly from MLS when homes are listed on accept and view stream. Now, again, this is where my permissioning and admin stuff gets all screwed up. So
gotcha. No, that's good though. That's a nice kind of look at it. And it's very simple. I mean, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1.2, 1.2, 3 clicks and you're off and running. So
right. So here's the cool part. Now, again, as people that have done this before with text-based marketing know that the client has to be the one to give permission to get texts. The agent just can't start sending them texts whenever they want. So when they get their alert, they can also set up to get real-time text alerts, right? Okay. So this is something you might add in that special email, say, hey, make sure that you set up text alerts, or you can call them up. It's like, would you like to receive text alerts? From their settings menu, they could set this up at any time, right? Make sense? I
think that's a huge, texting is a huge, I mean, I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't want to be texted if they're serious about, getting into our markets.
For sure. So now, when they click on their listing alert, they're going to come to this page with the homes that they've actually looking at, and they can say, oh, I like that one. They would say, well, you know what? Never show me a house like this ever again, right? Or it could be like leave a comment, and the comment could be like, this house is ugly, right? I don't know, right? And the thing is that the agent's going to be notified, right, via text or a listing alert, an email, I should say. If his father was on that, they'd get that thing, and you can have a stream, of comments, of collaboration back and forth between all the participants in this, right? So, and again, I can see, my activity of what I've done here. I've got 1 like, 1 comment. I can create multiple streams for myself, and I can see the properties that I liked, right? So again, just a super simple, way of doing listing alerts with a great interface that's, again, all branded to the agent. My contact information is where I just can email Greg right here. So that's the only kind of option he's going to get, is to email his agent there. It's not branded with Zillow or Redfin or Matrix or anything else. It's all set up for that client. But super easy to use. A lot of agents love this. And really proud of Cloud Streams, and it just does it's like one of those things. It just works. It's designed to do one job. It does that one job very well.
Yeah, it's a great interface. It is super easy to use, which is always a plus. And I encourage our agents, take that first step. It's right there on and I'm sure we're gonna, post production of this when we post it to our YouTube and our pro support page. We'll probably have a flash of where they can exactly click, but it's right there on our homepage. Get you right in. Set your account up. It takes 2 seconds to get your branding going, and then just take a few minutes to play around, because you really, you don't have to be an engineer to use these products. Very simple, but very powerful, which is nice.
Yeah. And once you're into Cloud Streams, you can go Here's a drop-down menu. You can go into Cloud MLX very easily here by just clicking here, or go to the launch pad.
Right.
Bring you there for all the other Cloud Agent Suite products. So now I'm in MLX. Again, super excited about MLX. And it's the thing about it's like, it's pretty simple. So it's a pretty quick demo, right? But,
yeah, I mean, it's a Google search, basically. Well,
right,
in your interface.
All know how to do it. But let's start off from the beginning. One of the things that you can start is here, or you can start with a map. I'm just going to start from the search bar. If you're not sure at first, I mean, again, just type help. It'll tell you kind of the commands you can use right away, right? So the search bar is not only just for searching, but also getting help. So it's just, we have this little cheat sheet here, right? Nice. There's also videos you can watch, or you can kind of go to our support center, right? So I'm going to go search, and I'm going to do a kind of a similar search we did before. I'm going to go, and again, watch this. I'm just, using my, I'm just typing. Right now, it brings me the results there. I'm going to go 3 beds, right? 2 bath. Just layer, right? After, I'm going to say 900K to 1.1 mem, right?
Right.
It's going to, oops, sorry, that was my mouse moving too quick here. Let's see. Should we do, let's see if there's anything in here. 800K.
Yeah, in our markets, you might have to bump that up a little bit.
Oh, there's a few here. But I mean, this is all of it, right? So I'm just going to say active, right?
Definitely.
But I haven't touched my mouse once, right? Let's see. If I click over it and got a line through it, I can take out the 3 baths,
okay,
3 beds, right? I can take out this. So I think you're right. I'm going to have to go up a bit.
Probably the price, but that's nice how you can just if you want to get rid of a filter, if you're not getting the kind of results you think you should be getting, and just exit out, right?
Right. So here I got 4 results.
There we go.
All right. So I think it was 3 beds. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, 2 bath. What am I? Do I have the same things? Okay, 4 results. Okay, so we have that, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe this is like something, this is a client of mine or a search I want to run all the time. I just have to name this. And this is the beautiful part about it. You can almost make your own MLS system, right? So I'm going to call this, HB, 900 to 1.1, right? Just something stupid like that. Again, I'm not very creative with these things. Now, the thing that's done now is that nomenclature, that name is now part of the lexicon of what I can do with Cloud MLX, right? So when I'm back at the search thing, right, and I go to 9, and it's going to like come up with like the last ones I've done there, right? Boom.
Is it a time frame or just a number of searches there on the history there?
It's the number of searches.
Gotcha.
Or the last one, the last 5 you've done.
Okay, cool.
But those searches are now part of my command. So it's going to autofill my, if I'm just like, my farm actives. Okay. I just set up what my farm is. I only set it to actives, and boom, here it is. So when I create these searches, it's almost like you're creating your own shortcuts within your MLS system, so that I don't have to retype all those things in.
Right.
I know agents have told me when they're on the computer and they're with other agents that are walking behind them going, and they're just typing and things are moving around. They're like, what the hell is that thing? I've never seen anything like that, right? So just by doing that, you can, kind of look at this, right? So let's say that we're here, right? But let's say that I really only want to look at off-market listings because I'm going to make a CMA, right? Well, so I'm going to take out the active. I'm going to say closed, right? So I want to just look at closed listings, right? And this is my farm, right? But I this is all closed. I only want to go 3 months back. I just type 3 months back.
Nice.
Right? So now simple. I have those things, right? Now there's different views. I have a map view here, a side by side. If I don't want to look at that map, I just click on the map icon and I have this. If I just want to go to a more traditional like table view, I click on, these icons to do that, right? I kind of like having the map there, but I can do it that way. Or, I can do a map with a table view, right? This is kind of helpful because now Now let's say I want to make a CMA. These are my off-market listings in the farm that I'm doing, the neighborhood I want. So I'm going to say, okay, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one, and this one. Now, if I go to this ellipse button, boom, make CMA.
All right. That's pretty easy.
Right? So, and then if you're gonna now we're in the same Cloud Agent suite. If I have Cloud CMA, it's just going to bring them in there super quick without having to re-download anything. Let's say that this was like, if I just had it previously, like I'll go back here, and I wanted to do one of my safe searches, and I wanted to make that a stream for one of my clients, right? So I'm going to go back again to My Farm Actives. Two button clicks there, Dave, and then it enter. It auto-filled for me. And now I'm going to make this a stream. Make Cloud Stream. Boom. Right? So simple, so easy, so integrated with the rest of the Cloud Agent suite. I think a lot of people are going to like this.
And the way that people are used to, using an interface when they every day, right? When they're searching Google,
But let's take a look at some other things. Like, let's just, I'll click on this. This is our search result page. Let's go into a listing detail page and see the things we can do there. So here's the listing detail page. I got a big map. If I click on that map, it's going to take over the entire screen so I can see that. And I love our mapping interface and the way the designers have made this to kind of be a little bit of a off thing. Really gives it a good look. If I go back there, if I click on one of the photos, it'll make it big so I can do kind of more of a photo, carousel thing,
carousel.
Right? So that works out great. What information here? I got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, the showing information. Again, this is not something you're sharing. This is your tool. So it has all the showing instructions, the details, the pricing history. I can, see the list price. Now, here's one thing I love is that I can really quickly share this, copy a link. So I'm going to copy this link to the listing, right? And then I'm going to bring it up in another tab here. If you want it, you just can send this link to your client, right? And they're going to get its own view. Again, branded to you, right?
Gotcha.
They get, so it's free. You can share these on Facebook, on Twitter, on anything, and you can just show this thing.
Just copy and paste.
Copy and paste, and those things can be, and all they're going to do is get this really mini website. I hate to call it even a single list. It's just a listing website that they can, see what you're talking about. It has all the features that I just showed you as far as the pictures and the map and everything else. But this is the easiest way of sharing listings on Facebook ever, right? So I think people will appreciate how to do that in Cloud MLX as well, right? So awesome. Just again, I would just encourage everybody, just load it up and start typing. One other thing I can do is, if I just, let's say I get a call from an agent I have no idea about, right? I can just type their name in, right? Let's see if I don't know a lot of people in this area, so. Does this work? I just wish I knew an agent I know here. Jody Clegg in here? I don't know. Maybe not. But all you do is you type, when you know the agent's name, you type in the search bar, it'll show them the last transactions they've had.
Oh, okay, guys. So nice, like a deal flow,
whatever, right? So it's pretty cool to do it that way. But like I said, I would just encourage people to go to Cloud MLX or Cloud Streams, put your, get it set up. And then the first thing I do with Cloud Streams is make a stream for yourself. Just alert you of active listings hit your farm. Super easy. That can be, then you'll see the experience of how it works.
Right.
Then you can start creating streams for yourself.
That's a good idea. Yeah, get in there, test it out, create one for yourself, and it won't take long before you kind of are an expert in that. Yeah, Greg, you're gonna put me out of work. You need to add like 10 difficult, complex steps here. So as a trainer,
no problem. Well,
no, I'm kidding, but that's great. No, and it's why we love having you right there on our homepage, one click away, right, to give our agents another great option. That, and let's face it, you guys do, we, as an MLS, we do a lot of great stuff, but some stuff, we hey, you guys are in that space, and you guys do a great job. It's a great interface. So should we go to some questions, Greg? You good?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, again, it's super
awesome. It's a great presentation. Let's take a look at some questions real quick, because I know we're approaching the hour. Let's see here. Is Cloud MLX an app? Yeah, so I think some of these looks like we answered as we went, so
Yeah.
I'll try to pass them.
So when people say app, I mean, I've been in the business a long time. We used to call, software programs applications or apps since the 90s before there was the internet. But you don't need to download, if you mean app by a native app that you have to download from the Google store or the Apple store, there's no need to do that.
Right.
This is a responsive app. So it'll adjust to whatever screen size you have. So there's nothing to download and it works perfectly on any device.
Awesome. Leonard A, he says, I want it! Exclamation mark. Great. How do I get it? And he wanted to say, how do I link up prospects on a search like a pro? That's actually we went over. So I think you should be good on that. If not, Leonard, just reach out to us and I'll make sure to answer any questions you have. And we'll also touch on training here in a second. Do we enter through CAR.org or MLS, another site? Right through MLS listings, log in. And again, for those who are going to watching this on the replay, we're gonna have a little screen that shows you right there. But yeah, you log in, right stuff, you can't miss it. Cloud MLX, Cloud Stream, right? You'll see it right there. So just log in MLS listings. Let's see here. Will the system also alert our clients for off-market and coming soon show or do not show possibilities? I think they mean members only.
Yeah, so I believe it depends on the MLS policy, whatever the policy is, that we follow that policy. So if your policy allows coming soons to show up, it will. If it doesn't, we don't.
Yeah, right now I'll have to check out. I mean, we don't syndicate members only. So oftentimes it's only, we don't send them out to a lot of places, obviously public, obviously, unless the agent sends them from the MLS. But you won't find them on Redfin. You won't find them anywhere out there, Zillow. But let's see here. And we've got a few agents asking for a recording, so getting a great response here. Let's see here. When sending a listing through Cloud MLX, are videos included as well or only photos?
No, videos. If they have floor plans, whatever's in that feed, the virtual tour, absolutely. So the way that would work is that if there would be, another icon here that said 360 tour or whatever, so those would be on the listing as well. So whatever is loaded in the MLS will be on there.
Right. When they put that virtual tour on the MLS and everything, those feeds get pulled over to, obviously. So yeah, you'll find them on those once you pull up in a search in Cloud MLX for sure. Let's see.
Same thing with streams as well, I believe. So
okay, gotcha. Let's see here. Do you offer any migration services from existing listing alert programs like Real Scout? Interesting question.
Right. So, I mean, I guess what they're talking about there is, they have a database of people that they want to upload into our, from somewhere to another place. We don't really offer any sort of upload of a database listings or the listing database or a client database, I should say. So not really doing that. When I talk to agents who are doing that, basically what I recommend to them is like, just start migrating them off of take one, do that today, take the other one to the next client the next day. It's just it'll kind of like be a better cadence to get your clients used to a new system. Right. So, gotcha. But we'd have nothing automatic. There's just too many out there for us to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. So this is does the cloud services include all the tools, CMA, Stream, MLX, or are they add-on subscription? So obviously Cloud MLX, which we just went over, and Cloud Streams are free. So you log in, you can go right in. Cloud CMA, I think, is you're gonna have to pay a few dollars if you wanted the Cloud CMA product, right?
Yeah.
But the two, Cloud MLX, everything we've shown you here, Cloud MLX, Cloud Streams, basically member benefits there, so free.
And I think because if you do there's always a program of completing the suite. So if you already have these provided by the MLS, they give you a big discount on upgrading to the full suite, including Cloud CMA. So gotcha. That'll be internal to your settings menu.
Gotcha. And a few are asking, is this meeting going to be accessible offline? Yeah. So, everybody who's watching, we're recording this and we're going to get this up on our YouTube channel, our pro support channel. So it's going to be available. Usually we get it up tonight. And so if you want to go ahead and, and rewatch it or send it, to anyone and let everyone know, please, that would be fantastic. So
Let me see if I
Oh,
can bring up my last, where the heck is this?
and I think, let's see, I'm just looking to see. I think we're just about out of questions there, but um, is there a dashboard view of clients and what their search parameters are? This is oftentimes we were hearing about an off marketer coming soon and need to be able to determine if we have any buyers that match. Um,
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So let me, I think you're talking about Cloud Stream. So let me go there. So if I go to my clients, tab here, right? This is going to give me the list of my clients. And if I click on, that client, I'm going to see, the streams that client has, right? And it's going to give me oops, I don't want to delete it. It'll show me what, streams here is, or what the criteria. So here's the zip code. It's a residential property.
Gotcha.
Right. So yeah, you have that view within the streams view to see what each client is looking for.
Perfect. So yeah, I think we got through most of the questions. If I missed any question, reach out to us. I'll reach out to Greg. We can get anything, for you. Not a problem.
And
And
I'll
it looks
give you
like
contact information for myself.
awesome.
The hell I have here. So again, a couple things I do is I have a blog called Vendor Alley. You can go to vendoralley.com, and I write about real estate technology and the different things that are going on in the space. I also, as Dave mentioned, I wrote a book called The Art of the CMA. And if you go to theartofthecma.com, you can order the book there. You follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter if you like snarky real estate stuff. Those views are not my employer, just to let you know. And then my email address is grobertson@lwolf.com. And there's my my phone number.
Fantastic. Man of many talents there. Author, entrepreneur, Greg Robertson. And I guess before we wrap this up, just real quick, training wise, if they want to really get any more training, you guys have a great resources page with videos, and they're just a few minutes long, really nice and easy.
Yeah. If you go to cloudagentsuite.com, on the top, you'll see a section that says learn. And you can divide that between Cloud MLX or Cloud Streams, but really quick and easy videos to follow. Hopefully you don't need a lot of that. I mean, I don't want to put you out of a job either, Dave. All our products are designed to kind of like you learn them as you use them, right? Yeah. That's the goal here, right?
Fantastic. And I know we're gonna have some additional promotions, a few webinars I think we've got planned in the future. Yeah. And so keep your eye out for more from these products here from Lone Wolf, from Greg Robertson, Cloud MLX, Cloud Streams. Fantastic stuff, Greg. I want to really thank you for coming on. I'll have you on again if you send me that signed autograph book.
Okay, hey, listen, I'm serious about this. Send me your address and I'll get it to you.
All right, fantastic. No, thanks again, Greg. And for everybody, have a great July 4th weekend. Stay safe and stay in touch for the next MLS Live, which will be coming up probably in a few weeks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, everybody. Make sure to check out our pro support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.